Hello! Welcome again to another stream. This time we're going to be doing some animating. I guess that's kind of what we've been doing for a lot of times in these past days. But today we're going to use the control rig with the Metahuman. That's our goal today. And we got Audrey here already. The music is nice today. Really. Is that the intro music as you're talking about? It's the same intro music I've had for a long time. We have Classic Sam, 87 here. Hello. Welcome. Hell yeah, animating the things we don't understand. That is well said, by the way. That is exactly how I feel like. We are definitely entering territory of unknowns. Hey, Pietro's here. All right. It's going good, Pietro. It's actually my son's birthday today. He's turned 6 years old on Earth Day. So, that's been I've been eating birthday cake just before my stream. Just nice. I feel a little sickeningly full right now, but good in other words. Yeah, today we're gonna try and figure out how to do some animating control rig with the Metahuman, but I'm compiling like shaders right now, so we're gonna find out if I can get this to run without my computer crashing and my stream falling apart. It's pretty awesome Pietro's joining us here today. It's probably nice and late over there. I appreciate that. And Pietro's starting his teaching career this week with our new school, which is pretty exciting. Him and Murat are both doing some awesome job of holding down the fort when it comes to making sure the students are on track. And oh, Pietro says happy birthday to my son, Sam. Dave's here. Evening. Glad you showed up, Dave. It's very happy to see you here. And Andre says congrats to Pietro. So let's switch over then to I think I tweaked out the green screen a little better, so it's getting a little bit like every week I'm like figuring out little tweaks and fixes, get that green screen to look a little better. Still still not perfect, but you know, getting better. It's 1 a.m. There you go. So we'll probably see Pietro disappear before the stream is over. I won't be surprised. Hey, Sean's here. All right, welcome. Glad Sean made it too. Maybe Sean's got a cool animation for us today. Pietro, and yeah, first week is about to finish. It was great. Oh, I'm glad it's going well. You guys are working real hard, by the way. You're doing like you're doing more QA hours than the mentors are by far, like ridiculously more. So I'm impressed. Glad you're all handling it well. And we're gonna probably have some more tweaks and bugs, but actually, from what I heard, they're getting ready for the next turn intake, which won't happen for a while. But it seems like we're on board for another intake, so it seems to be going well so far. Sean says, yeah, baby, Austin Powers. He's the enthusiasm for some good quality animation here. Notice how I still have 1,300 shaders to compile. I'm not even trying to be in this map here. I shouldn't have bothered to bring it into my... I've got this map of like all the stuff I do on my streams, and I'm like, I really should probably have 2 maps so I don't have to hold on to so much stuff. But in the process of importing Metahuman, I also had to turn on a bunch of plugins, which seems to have forced me to recompile a lot of shaders, so I'm hoping that we'll be able to get this up and looking like a character soon enough. So what I discovered, oh, you know what I learned today? It's pretty cool. Talking to William, I said his name wrong last week. William Fusher. See, I'm terrible with names. I was talking about it last week. He has this YouTube channel. He's really cool. He's got all this like excellent content. So we're having another meeting today, and he taught me about a new world building tool. And I'm going to show it to you. As soon as I figure out where my library channels are. There we go. So we're looking at, no, not VFX, world building. quad spinner is called Gaia? Yeah, I don't know. GAEA. It is a world building tool that is free. Yeah, John's into that. How do you write his last name? Oh, look, we got another wanna be famous email or post here. So this is a free tool. It's got some, look how complicated that is. That is a very sophisticated. These are awesome. Apparently they're really easy to make, he says. Like you just couple nodes. It's node-based wiring, and then you get these amazing things. And you can export it as a height map, or he says what sometimes he just does is export it as geometry, especially if it's sort of like background assets, and you just want to like scale and skew them and change them so that they kind of fit properly. But it's like, wow, that's so cool. And like compared to World Builder and all these other tools, this one's cheap and looks like it's really smart. I think you have to pay money if you want to make it into like a corporate sort of world studio environment. But for just independent user, you can get your own for free. Ah, Dave says free version has limitations though. And I think, what was it? He was saying it was the texture resolution export. But maybe there's other ones too. Quad Spinner Gia. I think I may have come across this when I was watching a Blender tutorial. Oh yeah. Intro. Yeah, the height details look great. I wonder how cool the masking export is. Oh man, you're really getting into the details there. Not sure why, well, whatever, doesn't matter. I wonder what the restrictions are. Community edition. Destructive. Anyway, I only just found out about it a few hours ago, so I'm still like, don't know much about it. Oh, here's the limit. Yeah, so export texture. So if you want to do a height map, you can only export it at 1K. Core tools, commercial use. Oh, commercial use. Oh, there you go. Erosion Studio. Oh, maybe that's interesting. I'm missing out on that. Automation, bridge support, builds. Anyway, we were talking about it. If we're still, you know, the whole point of why we're talking about this is because we're building the technical artist course. So we're start figuring out the details, and this might be something that we're going to incorporate into the pipeline. And if it requires a license payment, then, you know, we'll be willing to reimburse students for it or whatever. But if we can just keep it as a free asset, that would be much better, because then there's no complications about trying to get it working. Let's see, is it a monthly or one-time payment? Well, I'm gonna say it's a one-time payment, but may just be very sneaky about it. No maintenance fee or subscriptions. License are proudly perpetual. Right, so it's just like the ZBrush licenses. There you go. Look at you paying to show us. Are you trying to say that I'm a salesperson trying to promote something? One time, I think dropping that amount of money for future would be worthwhile investment. Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about too. When we saw that price tag, we were like, whatever. That's what we need. We'll just give the students the money and let them own it. It's much better than like all the other software expenses. It really depends though. I mean, it has to be something that the student would actually want to use. I mean, potentially if you're taking the technical artist course, you want to be getting into rigging instead, and this is kind of like, I don't really need this software. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to be saying the whole sponsored thing. Man, yeah, that's right. I don't even know what to do. It's like, just segue into this whole like, why don't you buy this product? And we get like a big flashy screen. Dave's sold. I have one client already. Audrey, have you been in that situation when you need a lawyer for gold? Every North American ad ever. That's so true. Yeah, I'm just not practiced in my ways of my North American ways. So we have this cool guy here. He's actually got a really hardcore hair and beard, which it might be interesting to see how that works. I'm not even really worrying about the face today. It's more about the body animation. And then there's also potentially a Maya plugin that you can use. So I gotta figure out how that works as well if we're gonna try and compare the two. It says, do you know whatever your problem is? Skillshare. It's just here to help. Oh, Skillshare. Oh, how lovely. This Pietro's gonna have two. It's hilarious. You guys are selling for me. Are you all making commissions off this? Is this what's happening? It's like a free-for-all. Time for everybody to sell their products. I was just gonna like go and double check that I got myself into my Twitch site. I forgot to do that this week. Jump over there. In case we get any more spam. Real spam. Not. You guys can sell your products. I'm not gonna stop you. Oh, darn it. There we go. Sorry, I'm really trying to do this on the fly. There we go. Done. And back. So. This sentence is grammatically correct, but is wordy. Guess what this is? I don't know. I'm not familiar with that one. Is that what Skillshare does? And I'll take a piece of the birthday cake too, if you don't mind. Is that... That's your compensation for the free sales. She gets a sweet, sweet commission off Jeff Bezos. Only AI was that sophisticated that you could just sort of like, you know, pick up on your text and start throwing money at you as soon as you start mentioning their name. One day the world will be that great. Okay, so here we go. I gotta go find this video. I got another post video thing that I can show you that I found through in the animation library. This one's been around for a while. Oh, this animating. Yeah, this one's been around for a while. Well, for a while in Metahuman world. It's how to animate the control rig, but inside a sequencer, which I found pretty interesting because I've never really had a lot of luck trying to get that control rig to work in sequencer before, and it seems here that it's quite doable. So I'm gonna see if importing a Metahuman from the bridge. Oh, I haven't even talked about that part yet. Might want to get into that conversation as well. Audrey, that's Grammarly. Their ads are everywhere. I've never seen a Grammarly ad. Maybe because I'm not reading them. I don't know. They're not catchy enough. And Abby, yeah, hi. There you go, Unreal. Oh, we're finally getting to Unreal. Where we're doing some animation in it. Is that what we're talking about? Now, there's some key parts here that I'm just going to really focus on. And it's going to be, how do you get from, I have a control rig to, or I have a character, a Metahuman, and I want to make it actually animate. So it's probably going to be all the important stuff in the beginning here. So we add a Metahuman. Oh, it seems to add the face and the body. Maybe we'll just start there. See if we can get to this far. Seem to have our character ready to go. That face rig is default by Unreal. Oh, it's not default. It's actually it's default with Metahuman, but not with Unreal. Sarah, has anyone tried cesium yet in Unreal yet. Is that what is cesium? Is that plugin that you were showing me the other day with animals? Or is this a different thing? And if... Oh, that's Floxy. What is cesium? Floxy is cool too, by the way. Seems like it anyway. I think it's a Google Maps plugin. Oh. Is this going back to the world building thing? How is the PC handling mental human? Metahuman. It's actually the fancy thing with Metahuman is it's got multiple LODs, so you can pull it right back down to like a PS1 style Metahuman character, and I can actually show you. It's actually pretty easy to do, and it still works. Like it's still got the face rig. It still does all like has all the core joints it needs to be able to work. So, I mean, you can run it on any computer. It'll just sort of LOD to a state that it can actually run from. Cesium is for Unreal, unlocks the 3D geospatial ecosystem in Unreal Engine with real-world 3D content and high-accuracy full-scale globe. What does that mean? Geospatial applications utilizing real-world content. Like it's actually real world content? Is it coming from a special source? Like a LiDAR capture or something? From like, I guess, Google Maps? I really don't know much about that. Here, so I'll show you what I mean by LODs. You go grab this, you switch it to LOD 7, and now you have your PS1 graphic quality character. And if you wanted to see mouth open, mouth down. This is a terrible way to demonstrate it. Oh, those are the, maybe that's just the face targets. How do I explain it? Oh, here we go. Let's move it back to low poly. So it still does all the face targets, even though it's just like a fraction of the joints. And then you can pop it back up to auto, where it has significantly more joints. So yeah, it's a really impressive setup. This is actually part of the really fascinating background of what makes Metahuman so strong, because it really does have that, you know, you can do anything with it and it will still be really impressively useful. This future says I didn't get that sentence either. It just sounds like a whole bunch of like buzzwords when we're talking about cesium. It's like, what is, if I'm saying it right, it's like it does amazing things, awesome, amazing, super amazing things. And you're like, what does that mean though? I have spent a little bit of time working in like a Google map kind of environment. They do have like a nice, I mean, even years ago they had this really interesting like customizing ability where you could like make your own sort of custom setup instead of a Google map. But I haven't really seen a lot of people actually utilize this stuff before. Alright, so one thing I'm really stuck on, which I haven't even got started yet, is what character do I import into the world in order to make it look like a character? Because all I've got is the top part of the body so far. So like I am on like the first few seconds of this video and I'm already like, what do I do? BP Metahuman. Oh, I want the blueprint. That's what I'm looking for. Let's see here. Filtered by blueprints. Oh, there we go. Alright, let's see if this will kill my computer or not. Oh, there he is. Looks like I've got another 1,000 shaders to go. I should probably face it in the way of the sun. Here's our beard. Showed up in the end. Okay, so then we make a sequencer file out of this, where we're gonna add our character to it. Remove this, and maybe we'll just make one inside of the metahumans. Anim test 01. So we'll open this up, save it. Oh, is this the map? Oh yeah, save level. Human. Okay. Much prep work. Alright, we got our sequence open yet? No, that's our map. Wait, did I just make 2 maps? What's going on here? Did I seriously make 2 maps? Wow. Level sequence. I'm so confused right now. Okay, we're gonna open open up Anim test. Get rid of this unnecessary one. Open up our sequence file. And now let's add this character. There he is from the environment. So because he was already in my map, I was able to find him inside that track there. Details are insane, by the way, says Pietro. I'm still getting a bit shocked by the Metahuman release. Yeah, I know it's really hard to sort of grasp how like amazing you've got all this content here that it's just like it's free. Oh, I haven't even talked about that. Let's go jump over to how we're doing this from Bridge, because that's the new thing that happened. I think it was this week, where if you use Quixel Bridge, they have a new place where you can grab your metahumans, and there's apparently 58 metahumans you can pick from. And if you got your Unreal license, then it doesn't look like 58, is it? Wow, maybe. Not that 58 isn't an impressively high number, but you can just grab one and you can click download, and it's free, and it will take a while because it's pretty big. Apparently you have to max out with 8K resolution, but it will map itself to a lower resolution automatically. And then once you're done downloading, like this one, you just say export, and it gets put into your Unreal object project that is currently open. And it gets put into a folder called Metahumans. And it's just like, boop, now you have it in your project. Yeah, 58. That is pretty impressive. And so what they're trying to do with Metahumans, and I don't know how it works, although I technically could if I spent my time checking it out. In fact, I should have. Maybe that's what I should do today. Just go and use the free Metahuman thing. I signed myself up for it, I just haven't actually done it. And you only have an hour. You only have an hour to play with it. Which is kind of weird. I don't know if I still have this email nearby. Alright. Air away. Here we go. This is what I get. Congratulations, you now able to have your hands on Metahuman Creator. It's a new feature. And so you can open up the launch Metahuman Creator. I'm actually tempted to try it right now. Download your Metahumans, install the free Quixel Bridge application, check your updates, ensure that you have the latest version. We want to use Metahumans in Unreal. Guys, hope you enjoy your Metahuman Creator. So, there's 58 pre-made. Sean's surprised by the hour too. There's 58 pre-made ones, but you can also just change infinitely the look that you want. But I think that's where the price tag comes in. And why does it not say anything about, where's this 1 hour thing? Oh, each time you access to will be granted a 1 hour session. After your session ends, you can request a new one, although there may be a little wait to ensure that we accommodate everyone. So you can pick up where you left off. All right, I'm gonna do it. See what happens when we click on this button. Please hold while we connect you to a Metahuman Creator. Setting up your session. There you go. I'll just put that off to the side and we'll keep on doing what we're doing. If it ever works, and we'll come back to it. Okay, so anyway, yeah, you just hit export, it throws the character into your scene, which is all I've done to get this character here. It comes with all the control rig and everything. Derpy looking faces. Audrey says, oh, it looks like you're creating your own avatar, like an alternate carbon. Yeah. It's like when you first play, like, I don't know, GTA or something. It's like, create your avatar. Except for this one's like, create your film product that you're gonna pay thousands of dollars for. Pietro says, you're really making going to bed hard for me. Sorry, Pietro. You're gonna be tired tomorrow and it's all my fault. Yeah, that's true. You gotta get up for class tomorrow. Sorry. Alright, let's see what it is. Maybe it won't last very long. I'll get stuck right away. So, from what I understand, you do actually start with like one of the preset ones, and then you would modify from that point forward. So I don't know. Might just go with the one I already have. Interesting that they have like the facial hair is so optional. There's a lot of characters though, isn't there? So yeah, apparently I'm just rotating around on my webpage here. This is pretty good. This Metahuman uses Groom, currently in development, only displayed at LOD 0 and 1. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna click next. Oh yeah, this is the live mode they were talking about. Forget sleep, says Pietro. Metahuman is more important, says Audrey. I tell my students, yeah, that's right. It's all about research. You know, dedication for your students, Pietro. It's very good. So they did talk about how this. Oh wait, I haven't finished reading it. What's sleeping? I've never heard of it. Some people do it. Never try to do it. Yeah. What is sleeping? It's so overrated. I don't think humans actually need sleep. We just do it for fun. Boy, my monitor just flashed. Hopefully that doesn't do that very much. Made this ugliest thing in Metahuman. Metahuman. The other day. I showed Simon a screenshot. Oh yeah, that's right. The yellow teeth and everything. It was ugly. I'm not gonna say. It was nice. Simon, do yourself please. Let's start the mythic quest of recreating you. Let's try to make myself. As if my streams aren't more about too much about myself as it is. So I'll just have a digital double of myself while I talk in my stream. Like why have my real self when you can have a digital double? This sleep. Do you close your eyes? Sean's still mystified by this concept of sleep. Audrey. Metahuman. You guys. I heard you also have to go on something called a mattress. Gosh, that is interesting. Okay, let's see here. So yeah, the idea is that you basically have this live mode. So every time you change it, you just turn on live mode, and it just keeps playing this. Like, I don't know if it looks like a preset animation, but it could also be procedural to some degree. Let's see what we got here. Blend. Oh, okay. So they don't do that while you're trying to make changes. Oh, look, you can actually transform. Oh, you can bring in different variations of people. What? You can do that? How's that gonna work? Wow, it almost does seem like they're all like interconnected then. Blend. Yes, then we can all animate a full room of Metahuman. I'm sure everybody wants to do that, right? Let's have more of me. Pietro, is that... like a chair. Nature doesn't know what a mattress is. This is not a good sign. Apparently it's flat, like Earth. Oh yes. I saw an article just recently, or a post recently. NASA gives out pins that says it's not flat. We've checked. Like a pin. The comment was like, I don't know if this is sad or hilarious. Let's see, how does this work here? Pick a point. Oh, I'm changing it based on those different things I had. Whoa, this is too weird. Wow. So what was I doing? So those are the different types of ears of each person? Here, they have a really big nose. Yeah, it does look like it. You can choose those types of noses. Sean says, I think NASA saw that and was like, these pins will sell like pancakes. We need more funding. That's a good observation. They probably will sell like pancakes. Pietro, is it still snowing in Canada, by the way? Yeah. Today it was, actually. How the hell did you live in snow during April, guys? We don't, says Audrey. We're all crying. It's true. We're all like very upset that the snow has killed all our flowers. Or at least it sure looks like they're gonna kill the flowers. I don't know. Our daffodils are not looking so happy today. Yeah, it was snowing today. It's still really cold out there. But it wasn't like snowing like it was the other day where like we had like 10 centimeters of snow or something. It was crazy. It was like full-on winter scene outside. But it was bizarre because it wasn't like normal winter. It was like everything was green and you could see tulips underneath this like blanket of snow. It was very unusual. I'm not used to... I've never actually... Don't remember an April like that ever. It does get cold and does sometimes snow in April, but not when you get like that much snow. That you're actually like, wow, this is like full-on snow. Pietro, my face when you used a slider thingy. The ear changed so smoothly. I know, I was thinking too. I'm like, wow, that is, like, that's just cool. There's like so much going on here. Like, there's just a beautiful blend of like vertices and textures and normals and stuff. I'm not even sure what's, and look at the hairs even changing. Which is just like, what? What do you mean the hair is changing? How is that possible? I have no idea. I don't understand how any of that stuff works. Dave, glad I still have my winter tires on. Had to go out today. See, that's exactly the conversation we had too. I still have my winter tires on too, but it's only just because of laziness, not because we're, you know, trying to be smart or anything. Audrey, the flowers and us. What? We're dying and the flowers are dying. I get it. Sean, demon ears. Oh yeah, demon ears. Yeah, we need somebody with demon ears. I don't know. Nobody has demon ears. They could have like real stylized characters in here, so I can actually prove that I'm doing something interesting. Oh wow, the eyes make a huge difference. Wow. There's so much going on there. Like even like the way it rolls over on the top. Oh. Is this that we're gonna be able to do before having a baby? Choose our kids before we have a baby? This is actually frighteningly a possible truth. I mean, maybe to this degree, but I gotta figure out how to. My computer is like just heating up back there. What are you doing? Yeah, no, this is actually the next issue with human species is the fact that we're going to be able to start picking and choosing what our genetics are, and It's gonna really change the game for everybody. Not necessarily in a good way, because we may not be getting our Einsteins and all our geniuses, because we selectively didn't choose for them. Whoa, look at that hair change there. There's a huge cranium change. Possible that the Metahuman rig with full controls in Maya. Ah, yes. So yes, that is possible. And that is something that I was thinking about trying today. There is a plugin in Maya that allows you to have the full control rig. And I don't know how to do it yet, but I was considering... I did kind of want to try it in Sequencer first, though, just to try to learn how to do that. And then I was going to go into, if it failed, try it in Maya. But I mean, just the fact that the options in Maya is really neat, because it's so much easier to animate in Maya, and then you could just export. But I'm really fascinated to know what the animation experience is inside of Unreal, since that's very new. Sarah says there's snow on the mountains in Tasmania at the moment. Oh yeah, right. I don't know if that's unusual or not. And you guys are getting close to getting near winter now, so I guess that's getting to that point. Mohammed says, or is it just for using in Unreal with motion capture? No, it's, yeah, so it's, you can use motion capture too. That's the other neat thing. They've just added a feature where you can bring in motion capture into Unreal and then bake the motion capture onto the control rig. So you can basically do what you do in Motion Builder, where you have motion capture, you put it on the control rig, and then you can animate with animation layers. In fact, I think that's what's in that YouTube video that I'm trying to follow. At the end, she actually goes and does that process. Pietro, I think that you point towards the direction of one of the selected presets to move it towards that shape for that part of the face. Yes. And that sort of creates the in-betweens. Yeah, this range right here. Funny, I haven't actually tried anything else yet, so I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Texture. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Now we got lots of stuff. Sean says, in the future, everyone's gotta look like supermodels or no longer RNG based. RNG? I don't know what that means. But I think that is the problem, is we're very superficial people, so we're all going to want to pick the most attractive and not think about, oh, maybe we should find people that are really smart. Wow, look how accurate that looks. Does that mean you can use the Unreal Control rigged character in Maya? Yes. The Sims looks great so far. You're talking about the skins. Are you trying to say skins? The answer is yes. I don't think I've seen anything that doesn't look good so far. Contrast. Alright, you can get sort of that purpley color come out in the blood. Roughness. Oh yeah, you can make them a little more sweaty and greasy. Freckles. Wow. That's interesting. Wow. Okay. Oh, and eye colors. Makeup. Oh my goodness, you can put makeup on. Beautiful. RNG is a term for battle royale games. RNG means random number generator. Oh, okay. Whenever you can't find a gun in the game, you can always say RNG-ness. Jesus. Random number. Jesus. And then you get a gun. It says, can I know the script name that you can export the Maya with controls, or is it it is the export option in Quixel Bridge. Yes, Quixel Bridge, that's right. I was actually just about to say I don't remember how to do it. But you're right, I think it's Quixel Bridge. I was kind of hoping I'd be able to find it really easily. Where did I see that? Where was that information coming from? It's also possible it might be from the marketplace, but chances are it's from the bridge here somewhere. I've never seen plugins before though, so I'm not sure. Let's go to the options here. Source asset. Start MHC. Oh, Metahuman creator. Oh, interesting. They have a link right there. See what I've just done. I just hit the export, so we'll see if that's like decided to explode my computer. I want to see what the source asset is. If it gives me the source asset, it might actually have the plugin or something in it, or a Maya file or something. That's what I'm hoping. Audrey, oh, miswriting is my special skill. Oh, okay, so it was definitely... Man, The Sims. You don't know The Sims? I know The Sims. It was a great game. I played back 10 years ago or more. Sean, oh boy. Oh man, I think Sims is older than that, isn't it? It's like probably 15, at least 15 years old, maybe more. Oh boy, that guy has severe acne. Oh man, I'm so far behind in my messages. Yet you're outraged because of The Sims. Did I misunderstand all that then? There's even a little music behind. It happens when I'm about to go to sleep, says Pietro. Ah, right panel. Yeah, the gear. But install Maya script. Okay. I'm caught up, even though it sounds ridiculous that I was reading all that about 15 minutes after it was written. I'm gonna jump over to see if I can find the source folder and see if we can get. Let me see what's in that folder. I still have my beautiful guy over here. That makeup though, it's just wonderful. Metahumans, and then oh shoot, where does it go? For some reason I thought it was just going to be in a nice folder that made sense. Downloaded, go to files. Oh, repository. Okay, there's the preview, the UE assets. What's the textures? What's this? More UE assets. There's your VX? Oh, JSON file. Huh. I don't know. We'll have to look into it. Figure out how to do a plugin. But I have seen it's possible. I just don't know where I saw it, and I don't know how to get to it. So we'll have to figure that out when we get to it. Jack Sparrow. That's the look I'm going for. Jack Sparrow. Let's see here. This is how everyone always ends up. Let's do some funky stuff. Oh man, afro hair. Oh my goodness. That was interesting, the way it bounced around like that. Let's go back to preview. This is crazy that all that stuff like runs dynamically like that. Like you can see that subtle shake that's going on there. It's just amazing. Can't believe it like actually works. I like how they've actually adopted the same like hair colors and everything. Like it's, even though it's different grooms, it still has like the same consistency in that front. But it's totally like a dynamic built hair. Alright. Wow, even that looks awesome. This is great. I'm like, what does a guy look like with long eyelashes? Well, now I know. This is such an exciting adventure. You're just like, wow, what am I doing? And what is this gonna create? It's just every time. I have no idea what I'm doing. You can definitely see how they separated the upper body from the bottom lower body. So there's like two completely different worlds, but they interchange pretty good. And it's the same sweater. And you just know like what is currently here is just going to be like, there's going to be a library that's just going to keep building, building, building. And you'll just be able to pick all kinds of stuff. Such a great character. So proud. Oh man, you can just do whatever you want. We're going from morph to morph. There definitely seems to be a lot of morphs. Now there is some similarities to how the character generator was from Autodesk. I mean, now that I think about it, like this is definitely, you're getting far, far better results, but there was interesting how you could take existing characters and kind of inspired from those coordinate positions. But this is what they're doing now is pretty cool, because it's very much like, oh, what direction are you actually pulling towards? That's very complex. Man, just Pietro right when it's starting to feel sleepy. I start making a ridiculous character. Imagine creating a crowd full of these, yeah. And then like you could do a crowd full of these because they could all LOD properly, and then you'd end up with like thousands of these characters. I mean, it makes you wonder like how if you're taking these dynamic assets, how could you just maybe like pipe it through a system that is randomly generating, you know, infinite number of unique characters? Audrey says, kind of looks like a makeup-y Viking. Yeah. It's when Vikings discovered how to make makeup. Whoa, big eyes. 5 days just to render. Oh, a shot with like bazillions of metahumans. Oh look, I'm actually looking at it at low quality. What? That's insane. This is ray traced, epic ray traced. My computer falls apart. Oh yeah, it is falling apart. That's good. Oh, here we go. Yeah, you can tell actually the hair is anti-aliasing, so we're getting some nice. It's filtering in a lot better. Like the chin kind of disappears. It still runs pretty good though. I don't know if they have a frame rate in here somewhere, but I'm running pretty good for all this complicated hair and everything. Mr. LOD. That's better. That's more like what I'm familiar with. War paint was basically makeup light, if you think about it. Man, that's awesome. Way to put that one together, Sean. Actually says true. Pietro, I turned around and it was all good, and then I turned back. He was wearing flip-flops. I made a huge belly. I was playing with the ears. Yeah. Just because you have the power doesn't mean you're going to necessarily make anything good. Audrey, that's what I'm going to say when I put makeup on. I'm putting my war paint on. There you go. And this is great. I love that connection. Okay, so I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty good sense of how this works. I don't know if there's other cool things I'm missing. Change the lighting, the outdoors, silhouette. Interesting why there's a silhouette mode. Even look at the transparency of that air. It's just so accurate. I guess that's what the advantage you get when you have like individual strands being generated instead of like hair cards. Okay, well, my beautiful character I think is done. Not sure if there's anything I can do to finish this with anything. I don't know. What do you do when you're done? All changes saved. Let's put the character into motion for fun. It's the most beautiful character ever made. Oh, I just jumped back into Metahuman Creator. Maybe there's a... Maybe there's an option somewhere. Duplicate, delete, edit selected. My metahumans, create metahumans. Is that gonna get me back to the menu? Start choosing your character to start with. I just don't understand. If you actually wanted to like output this, is it possible? And I'm just looking for like what happens when you do that. You have your character, you have your edit, but like I don't know, what do you do after that? No right click. I don't see any option. Maybe if you guys ever figure that out, let me know. Now I'm gonna guess that it's very difficult to actually output it. That's where the cost is. So I feel like that's where that's gonna be like, okay, there's a price tag if you want to do this. I could be wrong. Maybe it's in my bridge. I haven't even thought about that. Let's check it out. There's 58. Oh, another interesting thing that happens when you import these metahumans is they sign you up to a contract, like well, you know, you have to agree to a thing, which is like, okay, I'm gonna close Metahuman Creator there. You have to agree to say that you're only gonna use these metahumans in Unreal. Like your final output has to be in Unreal. So, which is unusual because usually it's just like, well, if you can't use it for commercial work or something. Like usually it's something like that. But in this case, it's like, no, you have to output it through Unreal as your final render. So even if you take it into Maya and you animate it, you're not technically allowed to render it in Arnold. You have to bring it back into Unreal. So they really do have you like, you know, trying to like make sure that it's associated with Unreal. All right, well, anyway, I have come to the end of my understanding of that. Plus, I only had an hour, so I was just about to run out of time anyways. And now we're going to go and try to do the animation thing. John says, looks like a character from JoJo. I'm not sure what that is. Pietro says, well, that's the case for Quixel assets too, though. Yeah, that's true, except for with Quixel, it's just, the deal is it's free. If you want to pay money, then you can use it in other softwares and other programs. But in this case, it didn't say that. It just said you can only use it in Unreal. And I might just be misunderstanding the contract that I had to agree to, but at the same time, it didn't seem like it. But I was technically logged in with my Unreal license, so maybe if you weren't logged into your Unreal license, you wouldn't even see Metahumans as an option. Maybe that's how they do it, or maybe you have a different agreement that you have to agree to or something. I don't know. But it was unique. You know, you can import in these meshes of real world scans, and you don't get that message. But with these metahumans, they had a very specific message. No. I don't even want to import it. Oh, maybe it's just going to do it anyways. And then we'll eventually have to figure out how to do that Maya plugin, but I'll get to that later on. Let's go back to our video. What did we not do yet? We got our sequencer, we got our characters. It just says, oh, JoJo's an anime. Thanks for filling me in there on that, Sean, because I was reading that going, what? I probably knew that somehow, but I didn't catch on. Pietro says, that's weird indeed. Yeah, definitely. It makes you wonder what the, you know, they have a specific idea and direction behind what these metahumans are for. I think it's to draw sort of a more film and film-based pipeline to Unreal, so that you don't just take these characters and put them into like some other pipeline. Okay, so here's our characters. Let's go back to our video where we're trying to learn how to do animation, and we're gonna get our character started. So we're just going through the steps right now of bringing our character through sequencer, into sequencer, and then you have to make sure that your plugins are installed. And okay, so we got a face control rig and a human control rig. All of a sudden we jumped to, now we're playing with the control rig. Hold on a sec here. How did we get there so fast? So we have these ones, Metahuman. Does that mean I can just start messing with this and it'll work? Yeah, this is where I was stuck last time. I'm like, oh, there we go. Worked that time. But it's not easy. I'm getting very oh, I know, snap. I got my snap on. There we go. I'm like, that's not good. Oh man, you can really start to see the challenges with doing facial hair on the face. This has always been the challenge we've always had. It's how do you get facial hair to act properly with all this crazy face movement? And I mean, that one is pretty weird, but there's a lot of stuff that is actually working pretty well. Whoa, what else am I looking at here? Funnel, sticky mouth. Oh, they got sticky mouth. Tongue, stretch. All right, Pietro's calling it a night. 2 a.m. See ya, Pietro. Have fun. Enjoy your sleepy class tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out as long as you did. Pietro, wait, I'm still here, but chin snapping movement got me hooked. Nothing like a chin snapping movement. A bug in Metahuman to make you go, oh man, gotta stay. Yeah, well, you're probably not gonna miss much by leaving if you do, because I'm probably gonna be sitting here going, hey, what does this do? What does this do? What does this do? I do need to put it in world. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna try to do a hand key facial animation tonight. That would be just cray. Pietro will never leave. Oh, what's the mouth open, I wonder? Is this the mouth open? There we go. Yeah, look at that. Crazy. I mean, it's kind of cool, all that follow through that's happening here. But definitely got something alive underneath that lip there. A little something good. Oh man, can you stop doing this? It really entertains me. More than most shows. Dude, you seriously, you're definitely on a different realm of what you find entertaining. I like facial action, facial motion poses. This is what I want to see. The Adventures of Pietro. Battling with the desire to go to bed and also learn more. Challenges. Alright, so what we want to do is not facial animation, we want to do body animation. So we're going to jump back to our video and keep going here. Honestly, like, facial animation is so hard to do from scratch. Like, it really takes you a lot of time, and it takes a lot of practice, a lot of skill. So, and you can just see how many sliders they had there. It's just, it's very, you have to be super patient. That's why it's kind of nice that they have that link where you can just take the video footage from an iPhone, iPad, and like build up something that gets you started, bake it out, and then you have these controls to just kind of take that and tweak it and manipulate it. And I think that's easier, especially if you can like filter those keys in a way that really lets you get started, so that you just have a key like laid out. I think that probably could like get you way far ahead. But even that is not easy to do. Alright, so there's a whole process here that's going to happen where we get into... there's very specific checkpoints, checkboxes that she puts on that I need to follow here. So we're at the root control. We haven't even talked about the fact that she's opened up the animation tab yet. Animation plugin. So I don't know. I must have missed that. Animation, plugin. Gotta get to the whole body. There it is. Body rig. Seems to just do a nice job of selecting it and unselecting it. The two of them. And then when you do that, I think it's when it shows the whole setup here. Ugh, one at a time. Is there a way to like expand this faster? This is the problem when you're trying to do stuff in the beginning. You're just like, everything is so slow and boring to do. Look at the way the beard moves when the mouth moves. Are you just trying to trick Pietro to stay more? Alright, so we're gonna get to root control. She's turning on a checkbox. That's very important, I think. Oh, maybe not. Local transforms of each space. That one. is the root control selected and is making these changes. I think that's all the same checkboxes from what I can see. It was just the one. So local spaces rotation. Oh. Oh, yeah. So she's switching it to local space so that you can rotate in a way that's more intuitive to a rig. It's nice that you can just sort of like flip it on or off. Okay, so actually you want that on, not off. Is that just a special list of settings? Or are they all shared? Let me just see here. No, they're all shared. Good. So that one turns on, and then I thought she said turn the other one on, but she didn't do it. Oh, you can change the size of your gizmo. Coordinate system per widget mode. Coordinate system per widget mode. Oh, wait. Is that... That didn't prove out to be true. Okay, so she was saying something about like if this switches to local and then we go to another limb and this is world. No, they're all still world. Okay. We turn that off. I don't understand. But that's what she was trying to say, was the coordinate system was per widget. And she's like, oh, I really recommend this. And then she didn't turn it on. Alright, I'll keep moving. This is boring. But it would be nice to kind of understand what that meant. Alright, so the next thing he does is start to animate. Oh yeah, there's widgets! I forgot about this part. This is so cool. The widget is inside of common utilities. Let's see if we can find our widget. And I'm going to leave that setting as is. So, content browser, common, utilities. Open this up. All right. Now, how do you use it? Oh, you run it. Run it, editor utility widget. I did not know you could do that. So this is pretty cool. I think this is like the big, that was the big gap in my experience, was like, yeah, you've got a control rig, yeah, you can pick a bunch of them, but it was a pain, especially when you were like trying to pick multiple little joints. So we'll see if this actually alleviates it. It's like some of them And this is a very familiar kind of control rig setup that I'm used to. Oh, notice how when I clicked it, it didn't do anything? That's not good. No actor selected. Oh, okay, I gotta pick the actor. Very good. Oh, wrong hand. This one. So then you can pick the whole finger. Cool. Pick the whole hand. Oh, crash. Oh, here we go. Left hand. Wow. This isn't very optimal. You push the button and you gotta wait for like, oh, it's just 5 minutes and then it'll be ready. Doesn't even work anyways. I think you can hold shift, is that right? No, control. No, that's not working either. Man, I don't know. Pushing that left button though, that definitely is not good. Stops everything. Got the root asset. The offset. Oh, you got your offset node. Yeah, this is actually very similar to what the art tool rig setup was like. Which is actually, you know, I found out that there's an art 3 being made. I know this doesn't make any sense to anybody who doesn't know what art tools are. Let me do a little recap on that one. So in the marketplace, type in art tools. Hold on a sec. Art tools? Question mark? Art? Oh no, I don't see it. Where are the tools? Wow, did they get rid of it? Or am I just like... Wow, this demonstration has gone terribly so far. I swear there's a real thing called art tools. I'm not making this up. I can't find it anywhere. Alright, well anyway, I'll just talk about it, because that was weird. So there's an art tools that came for free when Unreal back in the day. It was like, oh look, you got a Maya tool set called art. Oh my goodness. And it was the animation rigging tool set, is what it meant. And there's art version 1. There it is. See, it's a similar setup. And I actually included it in our original course content that we made for when it's there, just gotta find it, says Sean. So maybe I'm just doing a terrible job. Maybe I'm supposed to be typing art v1. Art v1. No. Hi, why can't I find it? Anyways, so it was provided for free, and it probably is still there inside of the engine content that you download. Well, it used to be. I guess now they do it through the marketplace, or they, you know, whatever. So it was a Maya plugin that you could put into your Maya fairly easily, and then have a rigging tool set that makes what would be equivalent to the mannequin skeleton and proportions in Unreal. And it had it was made in 2016 Maya, and then all of a sudden Maya totally changed their interface logic in like 2017 or 2018 or something, and so all these tools were really not compatible, and they got really complicated. And it's always been kind of a pain. I think Sarah, if she's still watching, remembers the early days when we tried to get everybody to install this tool set. So it was what they were using originally to make Fortnite, before Fortnite came out. And so in here you can probably find some examples, and you'll see like a character or something that you might recognize. But I really liked it. I thought it was kind of a neat idea. Really, like, because Maya has such few options for rigging anyways. I mean, nowadays I feel like Advanced Skeleton is definitely proving itself as being pretty valuable. And I know I was talking to John Robbins. He has his opinions about, you know, different control rigs, but he's still pretty down with where art tools are going. And so anyway, they were in the middle of making Art 2, which is the next version, because Art 1 was really written kind of pretty rough. I don't know. If you ever look at its code base, you saw that it needed some massive overhaul. But functionally, it did actually make some control rigs pretty easily. So Art 2 was the new promising thing. It was going to fix all these issues and make it compatible with the latest version of Maya, and they were going to bring it out. And then the guy that was writing it left. He went to another company halfway through production. So Art 2 kind of just went into this open source, let's see who can actually finish this, and then trying to put it together, and then years went by before, and nobody was actually really successfully finishing the tool from what I could tell. I mean, I kept following it and realizing that it was never going to go anywhere. And then when I was talking to John the other week, he's like, oh, there's Art 3 just about to get released soon. I don't know whether it's going to happen this year or what, but apparently they're still working on a new version for Art 3. And it will be, you know, another tool set that hopefully alleviates a lot of those other issues from the previous version. Interesting just from a philosophical point of view of what Epic's plan is, because it is a Maya plugin for a control rig, which meanwhile they're making a control rig in Unreal, so it makes you wonder what direction they're actually planning, or whether this is just something that they were going to roll out anyways. Anyway, so maybe one day I'll be talking about Art 3 one day, and we'll see what it's like. But you can see the similarity of how it's been set up, so I don't know, maybe there's going to be a connection here. Maybe this is the same type of thing. I don't know, we're talking about Metahuman though, so maybe we're in a different realm. Maybe it's just a coincidence they look the same. But still, kind of interesting to talk about it. Okay, so oh, and the other nice thing about this thing is you can switch the IK/FK for the limbs, which was another thing that really got me stuck. I'm like, well, how do you... I know that they have these FK feet, but how do you make it an IK foot? But now you can just switch it with that little checkbox in the widget, and you can animate it like it would be an IK. So the tools are there. You just gotta get used to the new workflow. Let's just jump back to the video for a sec and see if there's anything else cool that we're missing before I get going on doing something. Oh, pressing S in sequencer to add a keyframe. How did she pick all the controls? Whoa, she just turned one of these checkboxes on. Let's just take a closer look there. Only select rig controls. Oh, that's why. So you don't pick the environment. It's like the filter. She also has local transforms in each space turned on still. Alright. Let's give it a go. Need that checkbox. Where do I find it? Only select control rigs, rig controls. And then I can do a big marquee select. Big marquee select. Hold on. Probably need to do something here. How do I do a big marquee select? Shoot. Back to the video. Control Alt drag. There we go. Control Alt. It's actually, I think, how you do it in here too. You Control Alt and pick a whole bunch of keys, marquee select keys inside of it. Didn't realize that's how it worked in the viewport, but that doesn't really surprise me. Okay, so we can hit S and it will key the first frame just like you would normally do in a workflow. And so I guess maybe what do we have? Auto key, create a key when properties change. So let's start doing some posing. Turn off the rotation snapping. I wonder if there's gonna be like pose, like they're gonna expand this and have like pose controls and like all kinds of fancy little widget tabs that we can work with. I definitely see that being a desirable feature right away. And it's stuff like that that will really, I think, change the direction for people, because it's so hard to do like a pose saver in Maya, and but I mean, I guess in a sense we're only talking about Metahumans rigs, so we'd have to, like, you know, standardize some sort of rig system if we wanted to do it across any control rig that you make in Unreal, so that it's a bit like what Motion Builder's like, where you have HIK as your standardized control rig, and everybody kind of just, you know, you can have these tool sets that always read off of it, but you sort of build your control rig based on that type. Yeah, I mean, maybe that is possible. I just haven't quite thought about what the deal is, but in theory, maybe you can take a control, any kind of control rig, and sort of build it as a standardized thing that can be shared amongst other ones. I'm not sure. I'm just realizing right now already that, oh, that's interesting. I can't double click in the backdrop to remove the gizmo like I can in Maya. I'm realizing one of the problems that I might have immediately if I wanted to, for example, make this hand stay on the hips. I don't know what I would do to make that constraint stick to the hips. I mean, it could very well be possible. I just have to think about what exactly we would do, because maybe the actual control here, like, I guess in theory I should be using an HIK, an IK hand rig. Oh, look how it switched. It switched IK and it was already in the same pose as the FK. So that is interesting. Oh, that's nice. I swear there's this add-on in Maya that did a similar thing. Yeah, in Maya, it depends on what you use. If you use the control rig, there's a feature that will allow you to match IK to FK. But in if you're using, for example, well, whatever, if you're using another rig that doesn't have this feature, pretty much any other rig that well, I don't know, most of the rigs, then you have to actually it has to know which joint you're matching your IK to your FK with in order for it to match. If you're using the HIK, it does have a system that will allow you to take, basically, I don't know, the way the HIK is made is super weird. It's probably the similar process of how this is running, where every time you move the FK, it actually also moves the IK. so that the IK is always in the same place as the FK no matter what you do. But that can be really confusing because you could have done like pose A with your IK and then pose B with your FK, and it would have looked intuitive when you were doing it, but your keys on your timeline would be totally weird because it'd be like all of a sudden your FK starts animating out of nowhere and then stops, and then your IK does the rest of the animation on a different controller and timeline. And that's why animating hand keying with HIK is, you have to kind of know what you're doing before I would advise anyone to actually use it, because it just can be like so confusing because you're just grabbing whatever controller and doing some motion, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, what's the deal? Why does this arm keep moving? I've gotten rid of all the keys and it still moves. And it's very confusing. It's a new word. Dang it, auto mode. Auto mod. True. It can be too chaotic to get out of hand if you really don't know what you're doing. Yeah, exactly. Because we did have some classes, some intakes early on in the early days where I was trying to encourage people to use HIK because I really like Motion Builder. I really like what you can do there. But we were doing it in Maya, which was one problem. And then we were trying to teach them how to do it. And it was almost immediately. I was like, yeah, this is totally not a good idea because then they would just hate it, right? Like they're just like, the animation sucks. This is so ridiculous. And that's not at all what the goal is. You want to make it so that it's fun and they're like, yeah, let's keep practicing. John says, AutoMod Sensors, the acronym for forward kinematics. Oh, sorry. Did you write FK and it was like, no, that's not allowed. It's hilarious. I'm going to see if I can actually find that. Sean, you're totally right. Let me just allow that message. Where even if you switched to FK or IK, the pose you keyed would be the same. Oh, where even if you switched to FK or IK, the pose would be the same. Yeah, that's right. So everything that you do would be in the same pose. You and your naughty FK words. Jeez. I don't know why I let you on my stream. It's about as good as the facial censoring that I had the other day. Sorry, Dad. Yeah. So, anyways, so let's see if I've got the IK control now in the right place for the hips, which is useful if, for example, I was somehow able to get these controllers to move together. Notice how they're moving independently. I was just going to do a little test though while I did this, and see if this hand control has any possibility that there's some sort of function we attach. We can put it to a group. I don't know what this is going to be like. Hand, right hand group. Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm really experimenting here. So root control is the other one, or is it body control? Let's see if I can put that to right hand group. No, it's just putting the whole human meta control rig into that group. It's not specifically just this asset. What are these things? Oh yeah, that's the same thing. Show body control rigs. Channels leg IKFK switch. AFK anim switch. Go body controls. Yeah, so this would be definitely one of those. How do you do it? Is there a way to do it? Is it even possible? How can you get a control object connected to its own body so that they move together? because that's the whole point of why you do FK. And then, you know, if you wanted the FK to follow on the ground, that's, you know, that'd work great too. But sometimes what you have is somebody. Wow, did I leave his mouth open? Sometimes what you have is like the you know, you got somebody who's. It happens all the time. Even when you're carrying a gun, you got the right hand driving the gun, you got the left hand following the hand, right? So it would be a problem almost immediately. So I don't know. I'm not sure what the solution is, but there you go. That's something to think about. And if you wanted to put it in the ground, like his hand touched the ground and you want to stay on the ground, that'll work fine, because already it's stuck to the world. But if you wanted it to be like connected to anything that's moving, well, particularly anything that's on itself, I guess that's really the main issue, is that it can't connect to itself. Because even if you had another object that was moving, you wanted to connect to it, then you could, in theory, attach it. Let me just see if I can do a little test. Here's our sphere. Drag our sphere into our level here. And take that sphere, key it. And then over here, we move it this way, key it. And we have that object moving. Now, can we take the hand? No. Take the sphere. No, see, I'm attaching it to the hand. And it only goes to, like, the entire object, not to a specific asset. Realistically, I think you gotta start from the hand as the child and choose attach. So until there's an option here that lets you like attach things, there's no way we're gonna get that to work. Okay. Moving on. So we'll move this hand back out into the air. So I'm not creating this unnatural problem for myself immediately. Oh yeah, and how do you zero out things? That was the other big question. And then after this, we're going to get into how do we bring some motion capture in, because that would also be nice to know how that works. I guess that's its zero position. We picked a whole bunch of assets. Yeah, see, this is another question. Like, how do you zero out a whole bunch of stuff? Do you get the ability to... I feel like I've learned this before, and now I'm just remembering how to do it. No, that's not how you do it. Sean says, hey Simon, if you don't mind, I wanted to know, how does cascade your animation program work exactly? The physics-based animation program that you shared in Slack. Good question. It's, see if I can still open it. It's kind of like, there was a tool that came out a long time ago called Endomorphin or something, where it was like physics-based animation tool set, and it's a combination of using like springs and physics to simulate body movements, and you can get pretty decent results. But it was always kind of like you go through all this process of setting up a rig so that it will react naturally and human-like, and it was very difficult to like interact with. To, you know, it was a lot of pre-work so that you could get kind of a result that looked fairly good. And that's how GTA did all their like drunken walks and everything. But this tool is a lot more driven towards what animators want to know, and it like gives you basically the tools of what an animator would have, but it's solving the animation by using a lot of the physics-based thought process. So like the weight of a character and the physics of where the weight is driving the body motion and the curves, and it gives you like a much better result. That was a bunch of keys. I think this is a point where I'm supposed to push a fancy button and it does magical things. Because you've got the keys at this point to do the animation. Although I must admit, those keys are actually in a really good place, so I don't know, hopefully there's a lot of nice... I was hoping the auto button was going to do it. Check auto button. Yeah, the problem is I haven't really spent any time learning how to do it yet, so... It's just, you know, in the video themselves, they're like, oh yeah, and then you can take this and turn it into that. Like, all I know is that they've got their example scene. Let's see what this one looks like. What? I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this. Oh, I see. Thank you so much for the explanation. Because I was looking into it and I was interested. It is really cool. I definitely have a lot of like interesting faith in the system. It's one of these things where you gotta sit down and really figure it out. And I think where it really benefits is when you've got like characters doing things that just you can't mocap because it's too dangerous or it's too weird and too crazy. And this is a perfectly good example of that, where you have like, well, okay, we need the character to do this, and it's like, well, nobody's gonna mocap this. And really all you just want to do is make sure it looks and has a nice live timing. So it's not like it's taking away all the work from the animator. It just means the animator can pump out a lot more content, because they just have to worry about, you know, where's the direction going, where's the poses going, and then all this follow through and natural weight and timing gets taken care of for you. So when you're doing, you know, interesting combat animations, or you're trying to like solve some kind of, you know, reaction or some kind of cinematic scene or something, there's lots of points where you're like, okay, well, the time it's going to take me to set this up and get it to look right, especially if you need to make like 10 of them, could be easily justified over trying to hand key everything. But just like every software that has lots of cool features, if it doesn't really get adopted and doesn't get used, then nobody ever uses it, and it just kind of sits in the dust, even though it was actually the better solution. Because, you know, it tends to be animators don't like to learn new software, and they hate going out of their comfort zone. So it's very important that this software stays like in a situation where it's easy to access, it's free, it's easy to use, it's easy to get stuff into it. If they can achieve that, then they might stand a chance where they actually get incorporated into some pipelines. But I actually kind of wonder if this is something that you're going to start seeing integrated into Unreal, because it very much is just, you know, taking that physics body and letting it drive, but also share the motion from the animation-driven poses. And if you have a control rig now available in Unreal to let you do the poses, and you have the physics engine and all the physics assets, and the fact that you can do the blending already, like Unreal is actually getting pretty close to solving that as well. So I don't know. I wouldn't. It's just like a whole bunch of stuff in the industry right now. It's like you're like, I could make this pipeline work, or I could just wait until Unreal solves it for us. And this is true for like facial animation. Sean says, I can definitely see this being used more in animated films. True, a lot of people don't want to jump to another program because relearning takes time. Yeah, we see that all the time. Like, that's a big reason why a lot of the studios are also like still using Maya 2016 or whatever. Because it's just, there's not only, it's a scary thing for a studio to do, because you never know when all of a sudden it's like, oh, this thing that used to work in our pipeline now doesn't work anymore. And it's like, what? We don't have time to fix this. So, but it's also, you know, people are kind of like, you know, they got their things working. They don't want to change. So it just tends to stay in the same place. And if with Autodesk, it can't really justify. I can't really blame them, because it's like, oh yeah, Autodesk came out with 2022, and now we've got like all sorts of interesting bugs that never used to be a problem before, and now they don't work. For example, when you open Arnold Renderer, I can't seem to close it ever again once I open it, and I have to Alt-Control-Delete and close my Maya session, which is like, what? Why am I having that problem? Surely somebody has tested this enough to find out that you need to open up the Arnold render view. Anyway, might just be some sort of, I don't know, anomaly with my computer, my secondary monitor or something. I don't know, could be. Jean, I don't necessarily think it's hard to learn a new program, but sometimes its very UI can look very intimidating and just as user-friendly. Yeah, I mean, I'm a perfect example of how I've had this software installed for months and I haven't used it. So the problem is, if you want to get the job done, you're like, okay, I know how to do it. I go to Maya, I set it up, and I get the job done. You don't go, oh, I'm going to use this software I don't know how to solve and how to do it, and I'm going to try and figure out how it works, and then hope, cross my fingers, that it's actually going to solve the problem for me. So it does get really difficult. Hard IK, hello. I wonder if that's how I'm supposed to say your name. This would be Animator's way to interpret your name. Welcome, thanks for joining us. We're talking about animation stuff. And we're also trying to do some Unreal posing and labeling all the different things I'm still struggling with when you're dealing with animation, which is zeroing out controllers and constraining controllers to other controllers. It's possible that one of the solutions could be you go into the control rig asset itself and manipulate it so that you can constrain stuff under certain circumstances, but I'm not going to bother trying to get into that right now. Let's, for the sake of time, jump back to our video and see if we can do a little mocap import, which I'm not really sure what I'm going to do for mocap at the moment. She just goes through the process of animating a little hand wave, and then she bakes it out to a actual animation that ends up being an animation asset, which looks like this in Metahuman, which is kind of ridiculous, but technically is an animation. And then she reapplies it back on as a animation timeline for the character so that it can animate that as a whole whack of keys. Which is actually a very interesting thing. Oh, are we at the mocap part yet? No, maybe not. Oh yeah, we are at the mocap part. So here she has a piece of mocap. She's bringing in. Art IK says, can you give me some animation tips for showreel? Sure. Man, there's so many tips. Maybe we need to break this down. And a quick explanation of 12 principles of animation! Exclamation mark times 3. Wow. Now that was a lot harder of a question to ask. I can show you some, I mean, all you have to do is search online, and you can find all kinds of great tips. About, not only about the 12 principles of animation, which is just, you know, you could go over them, but realistically, just understanding how to actually use them in the appropriate situation requires just sitting down, practicing it, and playing with it, and realizing how to utilize it takes time. But tips for show reels, there's a really good video that really defines it as, you know, what is your end target? What is your goal? Who are you applying to for your show reel? And that's really what you got to be thinking about, is like, am I applying for a film, cinematic film? Is it like, you know, live action kind of animation? Is it like cartoony animation? You really want to build your demo reel and your show reel to that particular theme, and make sure that that's kind of stuff that you're working with. For me, it was true too when I was working on my game animations to get applied to my first game job. It was really because I did a whole whack of actual game animations, and that was specifically what they were looking for. So it was an easy sell for them, because they're like, oh, that's what we need you to sit down and do, and that's what you just showed us that you can do. So then, as long as I did okay in the interview and, you know, didn't look like a crazy person, then I was able to actually get the job. Sean, everyone needs to go through the bouncing ball phase. Oh man, yeah, it's true. The classic bouncing ball, the flour sack jump. And it really does, even though it seems really boring, but it actually does there's so much little subtlety that's going on. And basically all it is a physics lesson, but it really helps break down a lot of the things that are happening in life at all times, where momentum and force, and then change of direction, like all these elements that are basically all animation is really at the end of the day. And then there's performance animation, of course, I guess, which is a whole nother acting thing. It can be quite complex. Okay, says studio using Unreal Engine or Maya. Both, I think, is the answer to that one. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're going for like a film direction, then Unreal Engine isn't always the answer right now. But in my opinion, I think it's worth putting in your tool belt as a software that you're familiar with, even if you're trying to get into the more of a film-based, or at least you know, rendered-based output. John says, exactly, no matter how lame it looks, it's all in there, in the ball. I like that. The ball says all. Let's see. Missing the really important part. The importing the mocap part. Here's our wave animation. Opening up the wave animation. RDK says, thank you, sir. No problem. If you have any other questions, feel free to shout it out. Animation is a long and difficult path, but it's a lot of fun too. I think in the they say it takes 8 years to consider yourself an expert animator, or at least an experienced animator, and it's funny how you know, I mean, that was back in the day when it was like 2D animation, but I still like the phrase, because even now for me, I've been animating for like 15 years, and you really find out that no matter how much practice you have, there's always like niche areas that are like really hard and really challenging. Like animal animation, very, very difficult. Facial animation, very difficult. And then you get into like stylized body animation versus like photorealistic animation. And everybody's got like an area that they're kind of good at, but it's just, Just see, I missed the part again I'm supposed to be watching. It's just really takes a long time to get kind of all these tricks and strategies in your head figured out. But you don't need to know all of that to get a job. You just have to be good at whatever it is that they're trying to hire you for. Okay, so all they're doing is putting an animation piece. So they've got a raw motion capture piece. They put it in as animation data onto your timeline. So this is just raw animation data baked onto joints. So I guess what I'm trying to do is find out how they get it from here onto the control rig. So you right click on the body and you say bake to control rig. That's all you got to do. Man, that's easy. Okay, so the real question is, how did you get the animation to be on the Metahuman skeleton? That is the real question. Let's see here. I've only got a few minutes left. Hard IK is from India. Want to become a 3D animator. Nice. Well, I mean, there's lots of good stuff. If you ever check out Spectra's stream, oh, she's kind of a few hours earlier than me, though. You probably kind of just... It's a little too early in India for that. It's actually already too early for you. For me, at least. Anyways, we talked about this last time. We always get lots of people from India right at the end of my stream, which is great. I didn't realize there's so many people from India that are actually like on track with what we're trying to do over here. Spectra has a really nice animation stream also from CG Spectrum, and hers is like I think about 3 or 4 hours earlier than mine on a Wednesday. Well, it would be a Thursday for you, and she's pretty good at just going through animation principles. I'm kind of more in Unreal and technical art Unreal, so it ends up jumping around a lot, but I do actually have my background in animation. Oh, they got some mocap right here. That's not mocap, that's just the facial targets. Anyways, I wanted to see the skeleton. This is not the full body skeleton. Interesting that they put two skeletons together. Let's see here. That's the face skeleton. Actually, if I take a look at the blueprint, see if I can quickly do this here. Where is that blueprint? What? I don't know. I don't even know. We got two assets. We got the body, and then we got the face attached to the body. I would assume through like the head socket or something. I don't know. It doesn't actually say it. We got the body asset. Medium body. Skeletal mesh. Without the head. Skeleton. So there's our body animation. The mocap would be matched to this skeleton. It's kind of a complex skeleton though, because you got all these subjoints. And I'm sure if you go down to like the raw LOD, I mean basically the raw LOD is all you'd need to mocap to, because you know, that's only the data you're gonna find anyways on mocap, so there's no point in having all those extra joints. I don't know how exactly you can just throw that on. Maybe you can. Maybe you can just take this skeleton, export it, maybe bring it into motion builder or something, or no, maybe retarget it. Maybe you can just retarget it in Unreal from another animation from another character. For example, if you had your characters in you grab that what was it, art V1, this one, animation mocap. So if you downloaded this, oh, it cost $18. that would be a skeleton that you could maybe retarget onto the body asset, metahuman based skeleton, and then maybe you could take it so that you could have it in the control rig or in the sequencer, and then retarget to the control rig. That was the word I just used. Hardek says, sir, last question. One last question. Should I ask or time out? Go ahead. Oh, I guess you've already done it. Unreal Engine software system requirement. How much RAM? Okay, so I would normally say minimum 16 gigs of RAM. I have 32, and if you're doing environment work, like big environments, like this thing, no, it's not actually not a big enough environment. Or if you're doing ZBrush sculpting, then you should be up to about 64 gigs. But if you're an animator, I would say 32 is fine. That should be enough. 16 is fine too, but you're on the kind of the bottom range. 8 gigabytes. Oh, look, Dave says 8 gigabytes or more is better. Yeah, 8 gigabytes you can get away with in a lot of situations, but you'll find some things won't work. And when you run out of RAM, your application closes abruptly. So it's not a position you want to be in, because you'll be like working away and all of a sudden everything closes. So I would, you can do a lot of stuff with 8 gigs, but I wouldn't, I'd start at 16 if you can. Yeah. And it depends on what level of quality you're shooting for. Like if you're just shooting for like lower poly stuff, I mean, you could probably do 4 gigs. We've actually, for years we were using Maya at 4 gigs of RAM, and it was always like, so the experience of like hitting that bottleneck and it crashing was very common. And then it was like, oh, 8 gigs, and then whoa, 16 gigs, and now it's like 64. But it just makes life a lot easier, and things run a lot faster and smoother. So if you can afford it and you can do it, I would definitely go for at least 16. John says, I think I'm going to be doing the same as well, having ZBrush installed. Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, I think when you get into high quality modeling stuff, 64 is a nice range to be at. All right. Yeah, there you go. Everybody knows what I'm about to say. So time to close the stream down. Thanks everybody for showing up here. I really appreciate all the company as always. And and I will be back again next week, and we'll try to find something fun to do again, and see where we end up in that case as well. So I'll see you then all next week then. All right, take care everybody.